Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I want to discuss that according to Jake Fisher, Openstein Line, Substack, the Sacramento Kings are looking to bring in Precious Achiuwa. Precious Achiuwa had signed a training camp deal with the Miami Heat, and then right before the start of the season, the Miami Heat had waived him. Now, let's break this down. I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the Sacramento Kings signing Precious Achiuwa, and do you think he could be someone who can contribute to the front court help that the Kings need? And with that being said, I think this isn't just a depth chart filler. I think this is a team that we already know the core around the offensive talent and all three players being high usage players, Domantas Sabonis, LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan. That's a lot of firepower, but it creates an inherent imbalance, specifically on the defense. The Kings have been missing the gritty, low-usage set specialists who can anchor the Kings' defense and clean the glass without needing a single play for them called. And Precious Achiuwa is the definitive answer to that problem. He's a 6'8", 26-year-old front court player who can play both the 4 and the 5, and he has a motor, an engine that never stops, in my opinion. That is what they need, especially because his high motor activity and his rebounding skills are the exact counterweight they need to balance this squad. His integration is about providing the foundational defensive athleticism, and this gives Doug Christie another 94-foot defender. Obviously, Precious Achiuwa isn't going to be like the other guys just going up and down the board, but I do think he's going to be someone that I wouldn't be surprised. So with all that being said, what is the point of this? The front office obviously knew that with Achiuwa available and him being waived mid-October after having signed that non-guaranteed deal on a minimum salary, that loss is now the Kings' gain. They're capitalizing on the availability that he had, and I think this is a potential rotational piece at zero risk, as this is a 1-year prove-it deal. More than likely, he'll go into unrestricted free agency, and I think the biggest thing is that they're going to have to probably make a corresponding move to free up a roster spot for him. And I wonder if that's like a Drew Eubanks or a Dario Saric who ends up getting the axe. But I think the biggest thing is his rebounding. This is a guy who is a really solid rebounder. He actually ranked in the 86th percentile in the league last year, and he attacks the boards at a high rate. His offensive rebounding percentage, which was in the 85th percentile, and his defensive rebounding percentage, which was in the 84th percentile, is somebody who just regularly physically imposes his will on the glass, kickstarts fast breaks, creates second chance opportunities with putbacks or, kickouts from those rebounds that he grabs on the offensive board. And that just physically imposes your will on your opponent, allows you to demoralize them. And he terminates possessions as well. Like an opposing team misses a shot, possession over, because Achiuwa has those rebounds. And he's got a huge wingspan, 7 foot plus on that 6'9" frame. And for a team that's struggled with a defensive integrity that the Sacramento Kings have had, the ability to secure the ball and limit second chance points for the opponent is everything. And he's not just an individual stat pattern. His mixed team defensive rating is a strong 75%, which tells you he's an effective system-aware defender. He knows how to function within a scheme, make the right rotations, reads, and be a plus defender off the ball. He's good at stabilizing everything. And that's the thing. He knows his role. He doesn't try to get too much out of it. His offensive game is tailored to complement their stars in Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, and eventually Keegan Murray. And let's be clear, his efficiency is modest. His true shooting is like 53%, an effective field goal percentage of 51%. That's below average. He's not a ball handler. He's in the 22nd percentile or a playmaker. And we have to be real about his flaw of a free throw shooting being below 60%. He's a guy who could be a hack-a-pee liability, won't be in crunch time if teams start to foul him. But the limited offensive profile is actually beneficial for this team. They don't need him to create. They need him to set screens, hard screens, be a tough cookie, roll to the rim as a vertical threat, and feast on putbacks from his own offensive boards. He won't cannibalize touches from Sabonis, LaVine, Keegan Murray, Dennis Schroeder.
Malik Monk, he'll amplify them by doing the dirty work. So here's the game plan for how he would deploy for them. I think defending stretch fours and high at the power forward spot would be what he would do. Like his athleticism and switchability lets him handle modern floor spacing, combo forwards or combo bigs, I apologize, much better than Drew Eubanks or Darius Saric would be. He can guard the perimeter and then go in the inside and physically handle them. And with that, he's got sufficient bulk and size that he's best used against athletic high energy centers, where his mobility is a weapon rather than a true post up bruiser. But as a defender, he can defend those bruisers or defend those athletic guys out on the perimeter. And then I know the free throw shooting is going to be a problem, that they may not be able to have him on the floor to close games, but when you absolutely need a stop and a rebound at the end of late game situations against a non-shooting threat, I think you'll be able to put Precious out there. So for me, I think he's going to be a huge part of the second unit with a guy who's going to be an emphasizer in defense. That's his wheelhouse. He becomes the defensive anchor of the second unit, featuring with, guards like Schroeder and Monk, Nick Clifford, and they already have good defenders in Clifford and Ellis. So he and those two guys will be their three best defenders. So I think they've just acquired a defensive engine, an elite rebounder, a high motor combo big who fills most of the Sacramento Kings' glaring needs. Yes, most of their needs are a result of them needing some help on the board, some help being bigger on the inside. And I think he complements Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis, DeMar DeRozan, Schroeder, Malik Monk perfectly by demanding nothing offensively and gives them everything that they need defensively. And they got him on a low-cost deal that maintains their flexibility moving forward and guarantees that this is not going to cost them anything. And to me, I know it's been a weird year for them, and the roster construction has been something that everybody has talked about, but honestly, this is kind of a home run pickup by the front office, as it addresses exactly what this team needed, and that was a front court player who can guard multiple positions, let the offense be what they do, and that's be offensive stars like we know they can be. But I think defensively, he can play next to Sabonis, so he can really hide a lot of Sabonis's weaknesses. And for the first time in a while, I think they actually have a better roster than they've had in a few years. I mean, I know this isn't like a one-stop shop solution. It's not like they got Mitchell Robinson, but I think they got someone former first-round pick who was a 5-star recruit. This guy was the guy who replaced James Wiseman in college. So to me, I think this is a better move than people want to give credit. And that's where, I wonder why it's like that, or why people are acting like this isn't possibly able to be as good of a move as I'm insinuating, because it's Precious Achiuwa. When this is a guy who in 15 minutes can average 6 and 6, I think that's a pretty good thing to have in a player, and is a lot more impactful than anybody's going to give you credit. So to me, when you see Precious Achiuwa and you know that he's going to be someone who's going to come out and play hard night in and night out, that's somebody that you want. And to me, I think if we go back to something that we talked about earlier, is that this team getting a 6'8", 26-year-old big whose engine never stops is going to be an answer to a problem that they've had all season. They wanted a team that has athletic defenders at its foundation, and in Nick Clifford and Mr. Keon Ellis, you got that, but the rest of the team, you haven't. It's a lot of scoring, so getting your boy here really helps them out and makes them a bit more lethal. So that's going to be basically my thoughts for that today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys agree, disagree, let me know, because I do think it's going to be an interesting situation, to say the least, because what is the expectation? What is the belief that Precious Achiuwa will get minutes, and do you guys think he's deserving of it? If not, tell me why. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comment section. as this is going to be an interesting year for the Kings, because I think if things don't turn around, it's going to get blown up.